Back with some more Metal Gear. I think for this video I have to go back to that base where we first encountered Hal. Or was that... well, I don't remember if it's Hal, but it's Emmerich. Yeah, Hal's from the other Metal Gear, so I'm thinking of the other one, but yeah, Dr. Emmerich or whatever. But this time we're going back to the base to get a, like an AI pod or something, so that should be interesting. If I remember correctly. Let's see, oh, I got some rewards. Oh man. I don't really have that much GMP, so I'm not going to worry about buying anything in the development section. I just want to look and see if there's anything available for the... no, okay. Let's just go right into it. It's the side op, I think. Yeah.
Please select a landing zone.
Alright, for equipment. Gonna use that. Now, I don't know if I should use the RP or the Grom or the damn sniper rifle. I'm torn between the two. Because if there's like a helicopter or something, I'm gonna need the Grom. I'm just gonna go with the Grom for now. Because this gun does enough. Yeah, we want the Woo pistol and the stun arm. That's all fine. That's all fine. But we need a different buddy. We want Quiet back. Pretty sure. Sinful Butterfly. Naked. Let's go back to, which sneaking suit do I want, though? Probably this one. Yeah. Just because I like the way it looks. Alright. We'll do it in daytime. It just looks better that way. Weird, there's usually something, usually Ocelot or Miller say something, but I guess because it's a side op, it's not really, I don't know. It just feels awfully quiet, aside from the engine of the helicopter. Where am I going? Okay, I'm going this way. I am going this way. Oh wait, okay. I need to think this over. Buddy support, scout ahead. Okay, she's gonna scout up there. I swear I just seen something shiny. Oh, here we go. Okay, I better take this. Slow and steady. Slow and steady wins the race.
Buddy has infiltrated out. The map has enemy presence detected. The map has been updated.
getting loud now, which is weird. My sound is always like either too loud or not loud enough. Okay. We're gonna crawl. Just cause I know it's on extreme now or whatever, it's on a harder difficulty, so these guys can see a lot further. Fuck it, I'm not gonna crawl, that takes way too goddamn long. Okay, wait, I am gonna crawl cause this guy might see me.
Complete. Analysis complete. Analysis complete. Analysis complete.
Alright, we're getting it.
Analysis complete. Analysis complete.
But I don't have a clue where this AI pod is. It's just somewhere in this fucking area. God. Oh, I remember. It was where Hal was. In one of these, Oh, shit. Just wait for this guy to pass, I guess. Think about our next move. Does he have a helmet on? No, he doesn't. I could have just put him to sleep, but I don't know. I don't want to risk it. I don't want to risk it and get hit with the with a verbal biscuit. Now, because of the harder difficulty, I don't have reflex mode, I think. So the time won't slow down when I get spotted, and that kind of sucks. Oh, man. Alright. Where the hell am I going? I just gotta look for... Oh, well. Shit. Didn't know you were over there, buddy.
The map has clouds approaching.
Coming over here? Fuck that guy. Fuck him. Alright, we got this. We got this. It's this facility out over here, where Emmerich was. Pod was in there, I remember, because it was like talking. Is it this facility or one? Oh, it's the one past it? Wait. It's out here, yeah. So it's out past this shit. I better not walk, because I'll probably get spotted. There's probably some enemy I haven't tagged yet. Look in this direction. I don't know. Fuck it. I don't give a fuck, I'm going in. What's in here? Oh. There's no bad guys up here, that's good. Oh shit. That's where I need to get to. Right over there. Number 3. Hangar 3. That fucking guy's gonna see me. Hit dick. He's gonna fucking see me when I have to get up over this. Oh, Jesus. Okay, we're good. Oh no, we're not good. There we go. And I hope this is the right spot to be. Maybe I should interrogate somebody. Figure out where it is. Is anybody back here? I don't know. There's no tape in that. I'm gonna interrogate this guy. 'Cause I really don't know what else to do. Except for head for the hangar.
Talk. Where are your friends?
The map has been updated.
Damn it. Come on, man, we're going back here. I'm gonna abduct you. You didn't tell me where it was. The damn AI pod. Oh, well, it's probably in the hangar 3. Okay, let's see. Over here's the entrance, right?
You gonna extract him?
Who's she aiming at? Alright, here we go. Alright. Wasn't it right here? Fuck, man. It's not here.
Taking out the power system now will limit the enemy's activities at night. You can disrupt communications between enemy outposts by destroying comms equipment. That'll prevent one post from sending reinforcements to another.
Jesus.
Destroying the power system will shut down the local electrical grid. That'll give you a leg up when operating in the dark.
I'm gonna go look the other. Looking. This one's the broken down one. There's nothing here. It's probably this one.
Marker placed.
Okay, let's go do it. Here we go. shit. These guys don't turn around. Oh, fuck me. Oh, Jesus. Jesus. Fuck you, motherfucker. Here comes another dude. Alright, I'm just gonna use this gun. Oh wait, no, he doesn't have a helmet on. Okay, we can do this. There we go. Let's get him. Let's get you. Let's get you.
Subject on board. Leave the rest to us.
Now, can I get up in here? Can I get through here? Wait, what's that? Oh, it's just his gun. Okay, we're good.
You gotta extract him.
There's people in here? There's somebody in here. Or is he just on the outside? I can't tell. Oh, there it is. Wait, there's some stuff over here. I'm gonna take it.
It's almost tragic.
Anything else? Right here, I guess. What the fuck? Where'd it go?
AI pod launch confirmed. We'll pick it up. I wonder what kind of secrets are buried in it. I'll let you know if we learn something.
Updated.
Got a report from the intel team. Remember how the man on fire was crushed by Sahelanthropus? Well, the Soviets recovered his body. Could he really be dead? Boss, head for Yaha Ovu's supply outpost and secure the man on fire's body. If Skullface was right, and a thirst for revenge can turn a man into a demon and keep the dead alive, then this man on fire who's been coming after us ever since you woke up, well, that just might be what's left of our old friend Volgan.
Let's go out the way I came in. I feel like there's gonna be more stuff back here, but I guess not. He's gonna spot that dude if I'm not quick enough.
Speak. Where are your friends?
The map has been updated.
I just want to explore this base a little bit.
He's coming too. Roger that.
Fuck, are they gonna come over here? Okay.
You gotta extract him.
Shit, dick. Okay, they didn't see him.
He's coming too. Roger that.
Weather will clear shortly.
Subject on board. Leave the rest to us.
Spit it out. Where are your friends?
The map has been updated.
Damn it. Shoot him in the fucking leg and see if that does it.
He's coming too. Roger that.
There we go.
Development complete.
What is it I'm looking for exactly? I don't know. I'm just exploring. There's no tape there.
You gotta extract him.
Break in here.
Development complete.
Oh shit. Wait for this vehicle to pass. This guy.
Spit it out. Where are the others?
The map has been updated.
He's coming too. Roger that.
Alright.
Please select a landing zone.
Оборудование разрушено. Саботаж со стороны врага.
Support helicopter requested.
РКП, понял. Немедленно проверить испытание за ачивную сходку. Конец связи.
Extraction arrived.
Well, that was interesting. Oh, I know what I could do. Lay some of these out.
This is B-Quad. Arriving shortly at LZ. This is B-Quad. On station at LZ.
Alright.
Gaining altitude. Силпейт, отбитый один. Мы осмотрели сектор, ничего не нашли. Departing. Называем поиск. Прием. РКП, понял. Будьте наготове. Конец связи.
Good. You captured it alive.
Death Stalker. Okie dokie.
Clouds approaching.
Got a phone call. I had to pause it. I paused the recording too, though, so it should be instant for the audience. Should be like nothing happened. We'll see if it worked. Looks like it worked. Because I was gone for like half an hour. And it still says only been recording for 29 minutes, so yeah. And that includes all the gameplay already, so yeah. It should have worked. Wait, what am I doing? No, I don't want side ops. I don't think. Oh, I do. I want to do this one now. Okay. But first, let's check out the combat deployment.
Please select a mission.
87%. I don't know about that.
Unit dispatched. Unit dispatched.
Crush the drug cartel? No.
Unit dispatched.
Okay. Wait, I got over 1 million? I do, so let's look at base facilities really quick. Still can't. Damn. Okay, development. Let's look at buddy equipment.
Please specify a project.
Wicked butterfly. Oh man. Guilty butterfly. Sinful. So I guess this wicked butterfly is better than... Oh, the sinful one seems to be... Whatever. We'll upgrade it anyways.
Please specify a project.
Flare. Gonna need that. Okay. Let's listen to a couple tapes before we continue.
You mentioned that the man on fire was crushed under Sahelanthropus in its hangar.
Yeah. He was caught under the wheels of its transport platform.
But his body wasn't found.
What?
We searched the area the moment we arrived, but there was no trace of him.
I wasn't hallucinating.
I know. I trust you on that. That means someone must have taken the body. But when I got there, everything was still as it was. Even Skullface hadn't been touched. I can't see a reason to sneak into a place like that and drag out the biggest, heaviest guy there.
What are you getting at?
Only option left is... he got up and walked away.
That platform ran him over.
Just ran him over.
You're saying that's not enough?
I don't want to believe it, but maybe not. He shrugs off bullets, even rocket strikes. There's no reason to think that would finish him. It seems ridiculous, but I'll start gathering eyewitness accounts just in case.
If you dig up anything concrete, I want to know.
You'll be the first, if I dig anything up. But I hope to hell I don't.
No kidding.
There's something I've been wondering. Why are you called Code Talker? During World War II, the U.S. military used the languages of different tribes, including the Navajo, as codes, right? I know the term Code Talker was used to mean people sent to the battlefield to speak in those codes. Were you one of them?
Our mother tongue was indeed used for war. But I did not go. I was already over the conscription age. However, I was made to help craft the codes that were spoken. So in a wider sense, you could call me a code talker for that. Navajo is a complex language, and virtually no one outside the US speaks it. They must have thought it was the perfect language to use as a code.
Yeah, in the end, the Japanese never cracked it. The cipher is king in information warfare.
Of course, they didn't simply speak in Navajo. They created substitutions for words according to a code book, and then translated those into our language. Young Diné was sent to the front lines of the Pacific Theater as code talkers. To fight is an honor for the Diné. They were the pride of our people. But I cannot say this history brings me joy. Words are alive. When they are spoken, life is breathed into them. They become a part of the listener. Our words were transformed into lifeless ciphers and used for war. This, after the Black Ana spent generations suppressing the language.
Yeah, I'm sorry. So I guess we shouldn't be calling you Code Talker, huh?
No, I do not mind. The reason Skullface called me Code Talker was because I also am responsible for coding language into the vocal cord parasites. I am the same as those young warriors, used for a cipher's sake. I must never forget that. The name, Code Talker, is a lesson carved into my being.
You said Skullface ordered you to weaponize the vocal cord parasites. But you also said he wasn't the reason.
And he wasn't. I was seduced by the parasites. That is a fact.
How? You mean from your curiosity as a scientist?
That I cannot deny. But there is more to it. The story goes back to the 19th century, to my earliest memory. One day, a man from the government visited our Hogan, our home. I cried as he yanked me from my mother's arms and took me away to an Indian boarding school. From that day forward, I became George. This was the name my teacher gave me. I was forced to give up my Diné name, forbidden from speaking anything but English. If we dared utter a word of filthy Navajo, the teacher made us eat a bar of soap.
Yeah, that was the U.S. government's education policy for Native Americans.
To erase our words was like erasing our people. Their education was tantamount to ethnic cleansing. Over time, the overt persecution of our language stopped. But to this day, it continues to be eaten away by the lingua franca, that is English. Many of the Diné outside the reservations can speak nothing else. And it isn't just our language. Across the world, minority languages are being destroyed by dominant languages. Many are on the verge of extinction.
Enter the vocal cord parasites.
Yes, I began thinking that minority languages needed some sort of deterrent against dominant languages. In order that their peoples and cultures would survive. It was then that I came across literature at the Foundation claiming that man acquired language thanks to a type of parasite, one that distinguishes between languages as a precursor to reproduction. If I could just resurrect it, make it more pathogenic, I would have my deterrent against English. But I failed to hide that aim from Skullface. He noticed. Yes, I wanted to retaliate against the English language, though never did I intend to actually use it as he'd planned. You know how the story ends. I was forced to study how to make the parasites compatible with all the world's languages. All but English.
However, he in fact secretly isolated an English strain.
I will not be held prisoner by the man's phantom. The English strain must not be allowed to exist either. Skullface has finally burned out. The world is rid of his existence at last.
Was he still alive?
You could say that. But you could also say he'd been dead for decades.
What's that supposed to mean?
Biologically speaking, it's hard to say how much was his life.
Side effects from the treatment?
No, the primary effect. Keeping a dying host alive as long as possible. That is the whole point. But in the end, he grew too dependent on his children. As if he had any other way to keep on living. He first underwent parasite therapy before the Soviet Union became his home. His body was horribly burned. Fire washed across his thin young frame and stole his skin and his throat, even his lungs. Only through repeated therapies could the parasites keep him alive. Most of his life became something the parasites gave to him.
And then he lost the ability to die.
That is correct. The parasites live on past the host's death, still aiding cell composition. At that stage, there is no way to extract them from the host cells. There is no way of knowing when the last cell of Skullface's body would die. The only choice was to burn the whole thing. And his children, along with it. And I am one to talk. When my life is snuffed out, I expect you to treat my body the same way. And when I burn, I will truly be one with my children for the first time. You say there were 3 English vocal parasites.
According to Skullface, yeah.
Skullface had 2 of the English strain with him. You burned both of them.
There was an oil fire. I tossed him in.
So that just leaves 1. And you tell me Skullface said he used it.
He said it was very close to me.
Very close. One of your comrades, or someone ordered to kill you. Or he could have been speaking metaphorically.
Metaphorically?
Close to your spirit, close to your heart. Someone who either loves you or despises you.
The second one makes a long list.
Whichever it is, act with caution. Skullface implanted someone with the English language strain. Who it is irrelevant.
Why?
I tell you what Skullface really meant. Very close to you means you will be exposed. All the infected here have been given the Wolbachia. Even if the vocal cord parasites infect them now, they cannot reproduce. But if there's a different host among us, host to the English strain.
If that were the case, we'd see the symptoms.
What about the non-English speakers?
We have plenty of those, but the staff use English as a common language.
But if that someone has not spoken English yet, and begins to speak it now,
there'd be another outbreak.
The final mating pair of the English strain must be found immediately. Skullface is gone, but his threat still remains. On this base, do you see what the final mating pair is? With him dead, those parasites are the stain he wished to leave upon the world. His thirst for vengeance. In the flesh. Think. Does anyone here bear a grudge against you? Who would target you, specifically?
The ethnic cleansers that Code Talker mentioned, they weren't Skullface's true goal. All we have is circumstantial evidence, but here's my theory. It was Cypher who started developing the vocal cord parasites as bioweapons, parasitic weapons, and Africa was the testing ground for them. As Code Talker said, their purpose is the ethnic cleansing of only those who speak a particular language. So they could do a weapon of mass destruction to eradicate specific groups, races, ethnicities, or colonies by the language they speak. Or a kind of absolute language control. Or maybe a tool for those arrogant fools to build some misguided utopia. I can see plenty of uses for them. However, in practical terms, they wouldn't be as dangerous as you'd think. Counteracting the parasites is easy, after all. Cut them out of your throat to save your life, or just don't talk. That also prevents the infection from spreading. So if the international community were to find out about them, they'd no longer be the threat they were conceived to be. In which case, their targets would be limited to minority groups as a deterrent or a terrorist tool. It's hard to imagine Cypher developing something like that as a main weapon for their arsenal. That leads me to think we've only tugged on one little thread in Cypher's grand tapestry. An obscure corner of their work, possibly forgotten altogether. In any case, things changed. When Skullface was forced to relocate to Africa and he saw that thread dangling. All the time he continued that research, he was secretly following his own agenda. The ethnic liberator parasites. His English language strain. Skullface said there were only 3 samples of the English language strain parasite, and I think we can believe him. Bringing his ethnic liberator's plan to fruition depended on creating an English version of the vocal cord parasites at all costs. But an English strain would have been useless to Cypher. Worse, it could have destroyed everything they'd built. It was the one type they couldn't allow. That means Skullface was forced to develop his English strain out of sight of Cypher's network. Naturally, he couldn't use the greenhouse facility Cypher had set up and filled with guinea pigs. Skullface must have found some secret place to create his precious few English parasites, hiding all evidence like a man cheating on his wife. Somewhere, an entirely standalone environment. And when his plan entered its final phase, he must have made the place disappear. Some little room, could be anywhere, but now nowhere at all. We'll never know where he did it, but to elude Cypher's surveillance, it couldn't have been big. I believe Skullface was telling the truth. There were only ever 3 samples of the English language strain. Why activate Sahelanthropus in Afghanistan? This is how Skullface wanted things to play out. The Soviet Union secretly develops a new type of nuclear weapon and successfully deploys it in Afghanistan. Revealing the existence of Sahelanthropus results in a return to the glory days of the Cold War. The threat it poses reignites the nuclear arms race between the world's major powers. The demand for nuclear weapons increases around the globe. What if you then introduced a nuclear weapon anyone could get their hands on? Non-nuclear nations, militant groups of all shapes and sizes, they'd all jump at the chance. Sahelanthropus was a marketing tool to sell nukes all around the world. But I think it's safe to say that plan was stamped out before it got up and running. The world's intelligence agencies never did turn up anything conclusive on it. After all, Sahelanthropus vanished before word could spread. Everything that's happened is already a fading memory, never to join the pages of history. Except for Cypher. Cypher won't forget. They'll already be working on something, quietly, beneath the surface. They'll use the pieces of data scraped together from this incident to build their own bipedal weapon. It'll take them a long time to complete it, but for now, the greed sector have found their new life's work. We'll have to be ready too. Hewitt's dug up some interesting facts about our skull-faced friend. 9 years ago, he was exiled to South Africa, stripped of political power. The upshot's that he ceased being a serious threat, in Cypher's eyes anyway. They eased up on surveillance, giving him an opening to establish his own military unit, one that answered to his will alone. Those men likely had no idea their orders were coming from Skullface. They probably didn't even know the organization was a part of Cypher at all. Anyway, it was in South Africa where he found renewed interest in parasites. And when he discovered the vocal cord parasites, he began to make his plan. Wipe the English language out of existence. Free the world, not by taking men's lives, but by taking their tongues. In his eyes, the greatest symbiotic parasite the world's ever known isn't microbial. It's linguistic. Words are what keeps civilization, our world, alive.
There was something Skullface said. America is made up of many peoples, but those peoples never mix. Quite so. One nation, home to hundreds of different ethnic groups, many of whom stick to their respective living areas. Little colonies, not interacting with other groups, going out of their way to avoid one another, their land, organizations, relationships. Thus, the United States of America is no melting pot. It is more of a salad bowl. It is not made up from one people, but for its minorities to function in society. A common ground is needed. Language. Even if the country is not one. No, because it's not one. A lingua franca is necessary. English. American hegemonism was born from the illusion that English could unite diverse ethnicities. In taking in people from around the globe, America became a microcosm of it. Now the boundaries between it and the rest of the world have become blurred. However different our neighbors may be, English enables us to create symbiotic relationships with each other. If English can bring unacquainted neighbors together in America, this should hold true for the world. This salad bowl that is the world can also become one. A ruler's greatest wealth is not money or land. It is the number of individuals under his control. Subjects who work, consume, are there to be used as pawns in war. For a capitalist ruler, his people's power becomes his power. You are the same. With your diamond dogs, you spin it with your speeches. But what you're doing is bringing as much talent as you can into your little domain. Every person another feather in your cap. Yes, since ancient times, every civilization's ruler has had the same idea. When people unite under one will, they become stronger than the sum of their parts. And the one will is the ruler's will. And what do rulers use to bring people together? Language. In the Old Testament, it is written that only one language was spoken in Eden. A shared tongue that united all of humanity. Mankind eventually grew aware of its power and harnessed that strength to build a tower to the heavens. The mighty Tower of Babel. This angered God, who splintered the language of man, and the tower was never completed. Languages emerged, and the earth was divided as men went their separate ways. Every age is the same. A ruler's first order of business, after conquering new land, is to force his tongue on its people. Ancient Rome, Napoleon, and now Zero. English is wreaking havoc around the world right now. The British Empire tilled the land with war as its hoe, then began planting the seed that is English. Eventually, American capitalism became the new instrument. To play its game of wealth, you only had to abide by one rule: English. By exploiting people's desires, English has become a leash that people gladly wear around their necks, it would seem. I have spoken enough. Your men can take it from here. Will you permit me to rest? Have something to eat?
I thought you don't eat.
I can subsist without food. But there is more to the act of eating than nourishment. We receive nature's blessings, and we affirm our part in it. And in doing so, we express our gratitude.
Sorry, it's, hearing you say you don't need to eat and that you're a part of nature in the same breath. Anyway, what can we get you? Not exactly a five-star restaurant, but the kitchen's used to serving a lot of different appetites.
Hamburgers.
Hamburgers?
Even we didn't have become Americanized. I eat them often back home.
And you just can't let them go. Well, as far as symbols of the American Empire go, hamburgers are pretty good. The victory of capitalism. Your people suffered so much at the hands of America, and you asked for hamburgers.
We have suffered more than you can know. But I do not see hamburgers as an accomplice. A single dish, providing a balanced helping of nature's blessings. Meat, grain, and vegetable. How could anyone hate such a magnificent thing?
Says the guy who can survive on photosynthesis. Balance has nothing to do with it. You just like a good burger.
That is also true. Be warned, though. I have very high standards.
Don't worry. I do too.
All right then. One good old-fashioned all-American icon coming up.
I look forward to it.
Alright. Glad I got those out of the way.
Please select a landing zone.
I'm gonna keep these. And we're gonna do it in the daytime. Da-na-na-na-na-na-na.
Be careful down there, boss.
So I'm going here.
Marker placed.
Alright. Across the road.
Plant extraction arrived at Mother Base. Enemy presence detected. The map has been updated.
Oh man.
Analysis complete. Analysis complete. Analysis complete. Analysis complete. Analysis complete. Analysis complete.
Man, there's a lot of people here.
Enemy presence detected. The map has been updated. Analysis complete. Please select a deployment point.
Is there somebody down in there? Doesn't look like it.
Buddy has infiltrated our The map has been updated.
Oh man. Here goes nothing. Here goes nothing. Fucked that up, didn't I?
Clouds approaching.
What am I looking for here?
The map has been
КП-1,
updated.
потерял противника. Ищу последние точки соприкосновения. Прием. Это КП, понял. Проверьте, но осторожно. Конец связи.
Oh my god, can you crawl any slower? The fuck? Why is he crawling so slow?
КП, это зона 2. Никаких признаков противника. Обыскиваю местность. Прием. Это КП, понял. Не позволяйте им заслать вас врасплох. Будьте начеку. Конец связи.
Fucking seen me. What am I looking for in here? Take on me. Oh man, that's a good song. I'm glad I found it. what the hell am I looking for? Maybe in here. Nope. Shit. Hospital area.
Fire!
Outpost captured.
Oh, here it is.
You have arrived.
Right where my marker was. I'm all bloodied up. It's Volgan. It's dead.
Extraction arrived at Mother Base.
I barely recognize you, Colonel. Skullface used your thirst for revenge against Big Boss, did he?
Boss, I've updated the mission list. We've received some new job offers. The details are on your iDroid.
Got a whole bunch more cassette tapes to listen to, it looks like.
Project has been added.
The man on fire. What's in this tent? Can I go in here? Oh, what? Look at that. Gas mask. I did not know you could get a gas mask. How do I get the fudge out of here? Here we go.
Please landing zone.
Roger.
I need a shower.
This is B-Quad. Arriving shortly at LZ.
But I don't know where they are, so fuck it.
This is B-Quad. On station at LZ. Gaining altitude.
Mission list updated.
What do we got? Staff management. We
Staff
rearrange the whole
assigned.
staff. And then we go to the ship. Intel.
Commencing platform construction. Please specify a project.
Hi, baby. Yeah. You're the baby. You're the baby. You're the baby. Baby. Alright. Body equipment.
Please specify a project.
Whoops.
Please specify a project.
What is furacorn? Well, I guess it's time to listen to the tapes.
Being added.
Oh, here we go.
Volgan, the GRU colonel, was burned alive with a Shagohod during Operation Snake Eater 20 years ago. Despite suffering severe burns to his entire body, he still clung to life. After you left Seleniarsk, Volgan's body was taken to a research institute in the outskirts of Moscow. But modern medicine couldn't explain why he was still alive. Not that the colonel was any ordinary man to begin with. That constant electric current he had running through his body that he could unleash at will. To be honest, I was always uncomfortable around him. Thought I might get electrocuted just by standing nearby. The institute studying him was tasked with investigating and developing human paranormal abilities. The comatose Volgan was used to further the Soviet Union's research into such abilities. But not long ago, the facility burned to the ground, and Volgan's body was never found among the rubble, even though the fire started in the room where they were keeping him. This occurred at around the same time you woke up. If Skullface was right, and a thirst for revenge can turn a man into a demon and keep the dead alive, then this man on fire who's been coming after us ever since you woke up, well, that just might be what's left of our old friend Volgan. It's not over yet. Back in '64, in Seleniuarsk, you brought his plans for a utopia down in flames. That grudge is what's keeping him alive. The day the research facility holding Volgan burned down, a Soviet jumbo passenger jet happened to crash nearby, far away to the north of that hospital in Cyprus. On board the plane was a young boy who was being studied at the same facility. The plane fell to Earth from over 8,000 feet, but the boy's body was the only one not recovered. At almost exactly the same time as the crash, Volgan awoke in that facility. According to the Research Institute's documents, the gifts this boy demonstrated included psychokinesis and telepathy. To protect his mind from being inundated with other people's thoughts, he always wore a kind of gas mask. A rudimentary form of psychic insulation, apparently. We don't know where this boy is, but if Skullface is connected to him, we may cross paths with him yet. This boy is part of a new age, where nothing we understand about the world makes sense anymore. Don't let your guard down. So what were they doing at Nzoya Badiabalu, that facility with all the people laid out in rows?
The abandoned factory Shabani was held in.
It is precisely as you guessed. Black Anna was coding languages into the vocal cord parasites. They infected the subjects with the parasites, then made an incision in the throat to expose the vocal cords. That allowed them to play recordings of a desired language directly to the parasites.
And the parasites learn the languages that way. That's some teaching method. I just don't get how a bunch of bugs had the brain power for it.
They don't. Do not judge them by human standards. They do not learn as a function of intellect.
Then how do they do it?
What language the parasites react to is coded into their genes. You could expose the Japanese strain to English for years, and it would never learn the language and react to it. The pronunciation, rhythm, and structure are different. But what about, say, Spanish and Portuguese? Linguistically, the two are very close.
Yeah, they're both Ibero-Romance languages.
Even so, a Spanish language mating pair exposed to Portuguese will not copulate. Only when they hear Spanish. Only then. And the majority of their offspring will be the same.
So it's a literal case of a mother tongue.
But if that's so, I don't see how the different strains can be created in the first place.
Well, among the many thousands of offspring, there may be just a few that react to Portuguese.
You're talking about mutations.
Correct. Playing the tapes helps to identify the mutant strains. Those specimens are then isolated and bred with one another. From their children, specimens that react more strongly to Portuguese can again be selected and bred. Repeating this process creates a strain that reacts solely to Portuguese and never to Spanish. Mutation and selection. No different to breeding roses.
So you kept increasing the change over the generations, adapting them to languages from all over the world. Must have taken a hell of a lot of patience.
More like patience. Just how many died for this?
There's something I still don't get. In order to tell which larvae will react to Portuguese, you'd have to let them develop and then see which copulate. That means you'd need tens of thousands of guinea pigs. There's no way you could do that in a facility that small.
For normal selective breeding methods, you would be right. But there is a more effective selection method when training the vocal cord parasites.
Go on.
It is not only when mating that the parasites listen for language. Shortly before hatching, larvae display markedly increased activity in reaction to particular language. The active eggs can be identified under a black light, so the eggs that react to Portuguese are selectively placed in the throats of subjects. So you see, narrowing down strains that react to the target language is an effective process. Though I'm sure that even so, many lost their lives to create the various strains.
Taken against their will into that dungeon.
There are two reasons for playing the tapes for the parasites. One, to isolate the eggs that respond to the target language. And two, to cause the specimens raised from the selected eggs to mate.
I get how the system works. But why do they respond to language before they even hatch? It's not like they can mate from inside an egg.
It is because the larvae learn the language before hatching.
You mentioned that what language the parasites respond to is hard-coded into their genes, and that they don't have the brain power to actually learn a language. But then you say that the larvae at Nzoia Badia Bulu were learning the languages in the egg. Your story doesn't add up.
Your country is home to a unique songbird. The Japanese bush warbler.
Sure, what of it?
What a beautiful call it has. But no bush warbler can sing it perfectly at the start. As chicks, they can barely chirp at all. They must learn from their parents and other adult birds. Only then can they sing properly and attract females. So naturally, there are individual differences in each bird's call. Though they start on the same footing, each bird is influenced by its teachers.
And the parasites are the same?
Like the birds, the parasites have a genetic predisposition towards a particular language. But while in the egg, the larvae's ears are tweaked by listening to the voice of the host. This tweaking ensures that the grown parasites will react better to the host's speech pattern.
Why would they have an ability like that?
Well, there are distinct regional differences within even the same language. Rare is the language that has no unique dialects. Yes, learning the host's speech pattern before hatching attunes the larvae to whatever twist of pronunciation it will encounter. This adaptive ability is what makes them so formidable.
I see. So a language requires selective breeding, but the parasites can learn dialects by themselves.
Of course, having the egg-stage larvae listen to the tapes in the factory was not meant to teach them. It was more important to use that trait of theirs to identify the mutated strains. As I mentioned earlier,
Is that really accurate enough to use as a weapon? You could wipe out a neighboring ethnic group by accident if their pronunciation is too close.
what you say is true. In that sense, they are imperfect as ethnic cleansers. But for his purposes, they are good enough. His objective was not to exterminate any one ethnic group, but to render the world's lingua franca, English, inert.
Please select a mission. Unit dispatched. Unit dispatched. Unit dispatched. Unit dispatched. Please select a mission.
Man.
Boss, research materials have been stolen from Code Talker's mansion. The materials were packed into 2 containers and hidden in the jungle southwest of the mansion. You have to recover those containers. The pickup crew coming for those documents is none other than XOF. That's right. They're still active, even after Skullface's death. Now that he's no longer in charge, their original chain of command has been restored. Meaning if XOF gets those documents, Code Talker's research ends up in Cypher's hands. According to Code Talker, the research papers stored in that mansion account for over 50 years of study. The problem is the vocal cord parasites. If the papers documenting that research fall into Cypher's hands, they'll take another long, hard look at them. The ethnic cleansers we thought were history will become a reality. America, Zero, will have a weapon far more powerful than any nuke. Even worse, if this knowledge were to leak, the world, humanity, can't be entrusted with this kind of power. Recover the containers before the enemy extraction choppers arrive.
Well, I'll save that for next time because I've been going nearly an hour and a half.